Hello Gemini, and welcome to your mid-month tarot update for the month of April. We're going to go ahead and do a little check-in, see what you need to know about the rest of the month, update on any energies, any advice you might need to know, but as always, please take what resonates and leave the rest. We have the Seven of Swords coming out. We'll shuffle a little bit more. The Fool. The first thing, it's funny, when the Seven of Swords came out, I did want to say, like, maybe this could be about self-sabotage, but I didn't want to assume anything off the bat of just the Seven of Swords alone. But when the Fool came out, I immediately thought, oh my gosh, are you self-sabotaging a new beginning here? Maybe something that you've been manifesting for, wishing for. I feel like you're just, I don't want to say yourself, maybe you're not even intentionally self-sabotaging, but there's definitely this energy of maybe, I don't know, I was gonna say delaying decisions, delaying movements, stalling. I don't know why, but I feel like maybe that is your form of self-sabotage. Like, you have a plan, you're just scared to take the first step and to have new beginnings, so you kind of self-sabotage when things look like they're getting good. 111 on the timer, so I do feel like this is definitely about new beginnings and new starts. But we're gonna take a look at the overall energy for the week, and we have the Queen of Cups. We have the Six of Wands. So I do feel like it is that energy of, like, almost when things feel like they're going well, when emotions are running fine, you know, and you're kind of almost like, okay, well, things are going well, things are working out, right? Now where's the problem? Now I need to make a little chaos. Things can't be going this well for me. I don't know why I feel like that's your energy right now, Gemini. Like, things, you're not wanting, it's not that you're not wanting things to go well for you, it's almost like you can't handle things going well for you, because for so long you've thrived in the chaos and the emotions being up and down and up and down. The main challenge and blockage for this next few weeks is the Six of Cups and the Ten of Swords. Again, it does feel like this struggle of, like, when things start feeling comfortable, you want to sabotage them. And I feel like it's almost like maybe you have, I was going to say, nostalgic problems coming up. That's such a weird way to word it, so I don't know if that's how you specifically word it, but it feels like these problems have been happening a lot in your past. And, you know, even when you start having successful outcomes in dealing with them, they always somehow find a way to pop back up again, and you just feel like you're in this cycle of expecting it to happen, expecting the worst, you know, expecting the bad luck, to the point where now I don't want to say that you've given up, but it feels like there's almost this energy of, like, why try? What is the point? Because there's always something else that's going to go wrong. There's always another thing that's not going to go your way, or that's going to, you know, and I feel like you just keep looking back at the past with all the negative things that have happened. You're struggling to see the positives, even when you're, you know, looking at past challenges, people pointing them out to you, like, well, you overcame this went well. You're still struggling to see that you could do that again. Maybe we will be clarifying all this further. For your advice, you have the Ace of Swords and you have the Four of Wands. So I think I was going to say, usually with the Ace of Swords, I say, like, oh, you need to gain clarity, but I feel like I wanted to say you need to reframe your mindset, reframe the way you look at things. I feel like 1111 is a very important number to you, to maybe what you're manifesting, to maybe when you make wishes, how you talk about things, because it is coming through strongly in this reading. You need to be, I was going to say, finding a good support system, or leaning on your support system at this time. Maybe running ideas by them is what helps you reframe your mindset, talking to people, hearing other people's perspectives, and other people's opinions. For the outcome, we have Empress, and we have the Five of Wands. So there is an opportunity for growth here. I wouldn't say you have to be gentle with yourself in the way that we approach things. I feel like that's maybe why the Seven of Swords is coming through, because I feel like, I don't want to say that you're harsh with yourself, but it is kind of feeling like maybe you are. Maybe I feel like you talk down to yourself, and you expect yourself to do more, or work harder, or be better, or be further along than where you are. And I feel like you're trying to I wouldn't even say it's tough love, because at this point it just feels like sometimes you're berating yourself. And I feel like that's what's kind of having a negative outcome, is because you're talking to yourself negatively, you're thinking about yourself negatively, or thinking about your situations negatively. And I think it also comes down to, because even when you kind of have this idea of like, well, I thought positive that one time and it still all went horribly wrong, so there's no point in me trying that again. I'm not doing that again. Or I tried to talk about things differently and go about things differently, and then that all went wrong, and I tried it again and it still went wrong, so that doesn't work. I feel like that's very much the mindset that you're kind of in right now. We have Death on the bottom of it. And the Sun, okay, and the Ace of Pentacles. So there is opportunities coming in for you. A lot of positivity is coming in for you right now. Again, I do feel like a lot of this is coming down to reframing your mindset. And obviously, I don't know how your mindset is. I don't know how your brain operates. I don't know the things that you've tried. I don't know, exactly. This is a collective reading. I can only say what the cards are showing me. So for me to sit here and say, oh, you just have to think positively and reframe your mind, that doesn't work for everyone. It's about finding positivities for yourself. Even people, that go through similar problems, that might be facing the same thing, will cope with things differently. We are going to go ahead and clarify. I'm going to start the very, very beginning of this all. I'm going to start with this self-sabotage and this fall. I want to know, can we clarify this for Gemini? Please, Spirit, what is this self-sabotaging look like? What is it that they do? We have Judgment and we have Justice. You're a very harsh critic to yourself, Gemini. I feel like it is very much, I could be doing more. I should be doing more. You got to take a step back. I think the thing is the Four of Wands. Yeah, you need to, that's what I was going to say. You need to talk to yourself like you're a friend. I watched a very interesting video by a creator on YouTube called Pearly. She does great advice videos. And she spoke about like separating yourself and talking to yourself like a friend. You'll have that moment where you'll be hanging out with your friends and they'll be like, I have this problem, and then you'll give them advice as a friend, and you'll give them advice about what they should do from a place of love, from a place of care. But when we try and give ourselves advice on similar situations, we tend to speak harshly or negatively about ourselves, expect us to do differently, more, better. And we can be quite harsh with ourselves. And I feel like for you, it's very important that you are reframing how you talk to yourself and setting these boundaries of like talking to yourself like you're a friend, talking to yourself like you're someone you care about, and kind of maybe even separating it. Instead of being like talking like me, be like, I like Gemini, they're so nice, or thank you for doing that for me. Talk to yourself like that, because you do take care of yourself and you do nice things for yourself, and saying thank you to yourself is important for building that relationship with ourselves. I think that's something that you need to kind of learn here, Gemini, is that we spend all this time with ourselves, but we never treat ourselves like a friend or like a person. It's just who we are. We don't think about things differently in that way, and I think that's kind of important for you in the way that you viewed yourself. If you did change your perspective on viewing yourself as a friend as opposed to as you, I feel like you'd have more success there. Clarify for me the Queen of Cups and the Six of Wands, please. What is this for Gemini? Can you clarify? Please, Spirit, what is this Queen of Cups and Six of Wands for my Geminis? So this is your overall energy, and we have... Ooh, I want that one. We have the Queen of Cups, and we have the Chariot. I was going to say you got to relax a little bit. I don't know if maybe some of you guys are on the cusp with Cancer, but I feel like you're very emotional. I feel like Cancer's energy is coming through very strongly here. You just want to keep going forward and forward and forward, but again, I feel like you're charging forward harshly and you're ignoring the emotional, sensitive side of yourself, and that there has been success there. I feel like that's the thing of like, you do need to be gentle with yourself. You do need to have these more... I was going to say friendly conversations with yourself. Have these more friendly conversations with yourself. The Queen of Cups, I feel like, I want to say be sensitive, be gentle, be kind, be nice, be a friend. The overall energy of the week is, I feel like, letting emotions guide you, listening to your emotions, letting them see the wins, like, and celebrating your wins, allowing yourself to be emotional. Like, yeah, you worked hard and that was a win and that was successful, and be proud of that and be emotional about it. And, you know, that's great, that's beautiful, and that should be celebrated as well. Emotions should be celebrated. I feel like that's something you're kind of having to learn here this week, Gemini. Let's clarify your challenge here. So the challenge is the 6 of Cups and the 10 of Swords. What is this challenge, please, for Gemini? What does this challenge look like for Gemini? Whoa. The 9 of Wands and Strength. You are so good at setting boundaries. I feel like it's to the point where I don't want to say it's causing more harm than good, but I feel like you've set strong boundaries and you're like, okay, I'm protected. These are strong boundaries, but the thing is, they're so strong that nobody is getting in. I think that's a big thing here. You've set these are really strong boundaries. Now nobody can get in, can get through, and now, you know, you've done the hard part, you've done the difficult thing, you've had this patience, you've been, you know, strong about things. But now, again, it does feel quite lonely. I feel like we do need community here. I think it is important, and I feel like showing your emotions I think that's the big thing here, is also showing your emotions to your community, because I feel like you are wanting to be more closed off. Being sensitive maybe is looked down upon in your community, or in your connections, in your friendship groups, in your family. And I feel like that is maybe why you also struggle with showing this for yourself. But it's really coming to light at the end of this month here on, yeah, you're really overthinking it. It's keeping you up. I want to say it's eating you up. It's keeping you up at night. It's eating you up inside of these aren't emotions that have been dealt with. They're still affecting you. We have the Ace of Swords there on the middle of the deck as well. They're still affecting you, and you're pretending that they're not, and you're pushing them away and closing them off, but they're still there. I feel like that's why it's the challenge, and that's why it's the blockage, because things aren't changing, because you're not dealing with things. Your advice was the Ace of Swords, the 4 of Wands. What does this advice look like for Gemini? Temperance. It's got to be give and take. It has got to be give and take. You don't have to deal with every single emotion and, you know, journal it out and explore every emotion to its depth. But understanding, like, I acted like that because I felt like that and that wasn't right. Or I've isolated myself because I do this. I'm sabotaging myself because I feel this. You know, exploring it and understanding it is enough. You don't have to understand it down to its very core and explore it to its depths, but having a general understanding of, like, okay, if I feel like this, I'm probably going to react like that. Or if I'm in this situation, I'm probably going to feel like this. If this happens, I'm probably going to self-sabotage like that. Just having a general knowledge, you don't have to understand the complete, you know, you don't have to label everything, but it's the making the start and making the effort is greater than anything here. I want to know more about this 4 of Wands, or this 4 of Wands is for you, Gemini, because, again, I want to say it's about community. I want to say it's about connection. But, again, I feel like there's a lot of solo work to be done for you here. The 8 of Pentacles, patience. We're growing something here. Is it a community that we're growing? What is this? What is this? 2 of Pentacles. You want it to be. You're trying. But again, it comes down to temperance and the High Priestess. There has to be balance in this. You can't be all in something right now. You have to be able to put the time and energy into yourself first. And again, I think that is where you will be gaining some clarity and having some transformation and some success is nurturing yourself, listening to yourself, having these open conversations to yourself. Clarify the Empress as the outcome. I do see this as just success, nurturing growth, prosperity. Yep, there is that prosperity in the Ace of Pentacles coming through. Opportunities coming through for you in the outcome of when we have these conversations, when we release these tendencies to hide or to not attempt, not to try, you know, those things. But like when we let those go, that is when we're going to have this growth, this prosperity, this healing, this nurturing energy coming through. The big one that I want to clarify though is the 5 of Wands. This feels like just petty competition maybe in groups. Maybe that's why it feels like you have to go on more of a solo journey right now, is because, yeah, it's almost out of protection. I feel like maybe in certain situations not everybody's thinking the same or feels the same, and it's causing some friction here. So time out, I think, is beneficial. 6 of Cups. Maybe getting in touch with old friends. Maybe these new groups are causing a bit of an issue here. That could be some outcome. you get in touch with some old friends and reminisce maybe. That is all I have for your reading for the rest of the month now, though, Gemini. If you did enjoy it, please do like, subscribe, do all those YouTube things, and if you've watched this far, I truly appreciate you.